Hello, everybody. Hang on one second. Engage privacy mode. Let me try something really fast. Yeah, that's working. Okay. Something's wrong. Yeah, something's wrong. It immediately exited, by the way. Weird. All right. Well, anyway. Hi, Sinistella. So it's Wednesday afternoon. We are going to be working for another couple hours, and then I won't be streaming until Monday. And I just want to take some time off. We've been making some really good progress. I'm happy with how everything's been going. And I don't have too much of an idea of what exactly I want to do this afternoon, other than like finish the loot boxes game. So that's what we're gonna start with at least. It's funny to open your immediate something's wrong. Well, okay, so when I say I'm back, it switches from my intro view to my streaming view. And I did that a couple times and I checked my captions file. So like 30 seconds had passed and I thought I wanted to start this pretty much right after you typed first. So yeah, I didn't know if something had broken. The microphone was correct. Oh, I also gave AI some tasks to do with centering tooltips. I did notice that when I tried it this time around, everything was a little bit better. Let's go take a look. Oh, it's only when you move to it the second time. Hmm. Yeah, it's positioned correctly the first time. And then a taller tooltip messes it up. Okay. Let me tell it what that is. Okay, so I figured out the real problem. It's that moving between perks whose tooltips are different sizes causes tooltips to be positioned incorrectly. If you just go to the customer portal perk directly, there won't be a problem. But showing the tooltip of a different perk or the perk next to it and then moving back to customer portal will use the wrong size. All right. Hey, Strudel. Let's go indeed. Okay, so we had some high level tasks that we could work on. The top down shooter, the story through the farming game. I think we should probably focus on the story stuff. Oh, I should probably just wrap up the loot boxes game. Yeah, I kind of want to just wrap this up. I want to wrap this up so that it's basically done. I'll just say ready for playtesters. This doesn't imply that it's done. So like collect up strings, whatever else. And then yeah, let's look at story stuff. All right. So what remains of the loot boxes work? Player speed should be cheaper. Where is the speed? Here it is. Player speed. It's not super expensive. But yeah, maybe we lower this by like, yeah, a little bit and lower this by a little bit too. And then the highest level one should be 100,000. There's just no reason to move faster. Yeah, maybe we make this like 3,000 or 5 or 10,000. 10,000 is probably not bad. Okay, let's go check that in. Make the player speed perk cheaper. It just isn't that important at the end of the game. So I don't think it should be as expensive as it was. Okay, hey Zika. Zika, how's your game going? How are things progressing? Position next to source after layout. Yeah, so wait for one frame and then do this. This is probably all it takes, and it's probably fixed now. That's my guess. Because we had to do this a lot in Skeleseller as well. We had to wait for a frame. Yep, that's it. It's fixed. And yeah, I think this looks a lot better now too. Nice. All right. Well, at least AI is not messing things up anymore. It's still running. We could probably just say that it's done. My quota resets in an hour and a half. Yeah, now it's done. All right, let's take a look at this. Placement request ID. What? This is interesting. So every time we try to place something, we check this. If it's equal, reset to content size, position next to source. This is a pretty interesting way of doing things. So what did we used to do instead of positioning? We just called position next to source. Isn't there an even easier way to do this than this? Can't I do what we did over in the tooltip scene? Like this presumably in VBox container, yeah, layout mode is 2. I'm not positive that that's what I think it is, but I guess let's just try this out. So VBox container, I think it's shrink center. No, it's layout mode that changed. Never mind. It's not that then. Custom content. Something should be set to shrink itself. I don't see anything here that does that though. What was the name of the mobile game? Slice and Dice. And at least on, I have an Android phone, and on, there's like Google Rewards and all this different stuff, and the Play Store gives you like free credits. So I just used, I think it's like $9, but I just used the credit I got from there, so I didn't have to pay for it. And I like pretty much fully beat the game. I thought it was really good. I was impressed at how just well everything was done. There are some things that aren't very easy to understand. And even like after playing it for as long as I have, I still don't understand some parts of it. There's like a glossary and stuff, and I just haven't felt like digging into that level. But it's pretty good. A friend of mine recommended it to me when I was asking him like, what mobile games do you play? Because the only other mobile games I play are not really mobile games. Like I've been playing something called Xanagrams lately. I find this incredibly fun. It's just a word search essentially. And as you like, let's say you drag play here, it just deleted the letters that I now no longer need. So by the time you found every word, you've deleted every letter from here. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. But like that's not a mobile game. It just happens to be on mobile. It's not like it needs to be mobile. You can play it on your browser or something. The benefits you're talking about. I see. Yeah. Yeah, but it's good. I think it's worth it. All right, so what was I doing here? I wanted to figure out if there was a way to do this without changing code. If we go into the tooltip, not like that. In fact, you know what? I should just turn off this dialogue. I never wanted to search for more than this. Do I? I don't think so. There's this. VBox containers are already set to size of their contents, right? We have a panel container, then a margin container, then a VBox container. I think that's our problem. Panel margin. I think the VBox container just needs to be at the label level. What is this? VBox container? I think it's going to be a control, right? And then we just rearrange this. So make scene root. What is this? Perk tooltip. Perk tooltip. Put this up there. Put this here. Put this inside the VBox container. I don't know why that was hidden by default. And then what? Delete the code pretty much? What's the easiest way to do this? I guess just copy paste everything over to here for now. Save this as, well, whatever the file's called. Perktooltip.cs. Perktooltip.cs.
Whoops.
What? No, weird. Then revert this. And then try it. Maybe you don't have to do anything here. Does it work? Well, it just broke, presumably because this is incorrect. Inherits from VBox containers, so can't be assigned to panel container. Did I not change this to a control? Could have sworn I did. Oh, I reverted the whole file. Making silly mistakes here. Yeah. I'm not certain this will fix it, but I do want to try because it's better to make a scene change than to make a whole bunch of... that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. Bit content is here. Do we have clip turned on? I don't know where clip even shows up. No, it's not on. There's got to be some other issue then, right? I guess just a lack of a minimum size. So if I fill this with text, hi there. Okay, let's just launch Scala Sellers 1. I don't know how this worked over there. Tooltip. Here it is. So we had a VBox container and then another VBox container over here and the label in here. And as we typed something, yeah, this would be fine. So this did have a custom minimum size of 300. So I guess we want to set this back to what it was. Is it working? There, perfect. All right, what else? What else? So VBox container on the root, VBox container here. This is set to fill in each direction. And then custom content, which we don't even have. This is set to fill in both directions. Okay, great. So let's go make a new VBox container and make this the scene root. I'd love if you could drag a script up to here. Perk tooltip detach. All right, so how's that now? This is a test. Something's already broken. What am I missing? What am I missing here? There should be nothing else even set over here. Play when I'm stuck somewhere and have time to lose. Yeah. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I think it's pretty good. There are a lot of modes in it, but some of them are not, well, they're not fun for me at least. But a couple of them are pretty cool. And even just kind of the base one's cool. In fact, actually, I guess, did you try the demo? Because the demo was a really good, well-made demo. It's like a good way to get an idea what the game's about. And there's plenty more after the demo. I don't see anything I did wrong here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for trying it. I think it's neat. This has a size set as well. That might matter here. I don't get it. I guess this, yeah, I don't get it. All right, let's just try running this. Just see what happens. No, it's very broken. Oh, man. What have I done wrong? There's a difference between these two things, and I don't see where it is. Fit content is on. Auto wrap is set to word smart. This is just set to word. That shouldn't make too much of a difference. Rest of this stuff doesn't look like there's a problem here. Minimum size is set. Filter. Auto translate mode. Clip is off. Strange. Strange indeed. And then there's this VBox container. There's nothing special about that. Then the margin container. This just should have, yep, some constant set here. And mouse is turned off. That doesn't really matter for our game. We don't care if the mouse works or not. Then the panel container. The panel container is not set through here. There's a theme for it. But is something else modified over here? There's no minimum size. Just the panel. Yeah, strange. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what I'm missing. This is expanding the parent as needed, then the margin container doesn't work. That is the most peculiar part to me. Why wouldn't the margin container expand to fit whatever the children have? And how is it even possible that it wouldn't do that? Isn't that how margin containers are supposed to work? All I changed over here was mouse stuff. And on this side, it is... I changed nothing. Other than the mouse filter, I guess. Strange. Maybe there's a maximum size set? I guess that's a new property. Maximum size is -1, -1. Maximum size over here is, yeah, -1, -1. Wild. Wild that I can't figure this out. I can't even size this differently. Like the panel doesn't know to take up the full thing. We had to set that to vertical. Wait, wait, hold on. What? Did I do that over here? I did not do that over here. How is there a difference? So confused. Yeah, I'm so confused by this. All right, you know what we should do? We should just compare the underlying scene files, I think. Hey, Whip. Spent $2,600 so far? Is this like a huge content creator or something? Can they afford to do that? Because I feel like there's a point at which your experiments get out of control, and if you're not making the money back, then I don't know. I guess it's interesting content. Yeah, Pressel. Should I know this person? Have I ever seen their content? No, I don't think I know who they are. Are they like a mega creator? They've got 179,000 subs on YouTube. Maybe they're more popular on Twitch. Yeah, they're much more popular on Twitch. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Twitch. What was for lunch? I had chicken and vegetables. And then I had some cookie dough in the freezer. And I baked my favorite cookies. These. They're very good. Not the cookie dough, though. You got to get on that. All right, so I want to compare this against this. Like, what did I do wrong? I've undone the code for now because I wanted to see if we could accomplish the same result through scene files alone. In Skeleseller, we had this. I tried to make the same changes to perk tooltip, but I'm struggling. Do you see any obvious differences? No need to make any changes. Subway cookies. That's an insult. Actually, they're not bad. I haven't had them in years, but I think I remember what they taste like. I think they were pretty good. There's some ice cream places around the general Seattle area that are like just super popular. And one of them was called Salt and Straw. Hang on one sec. I'm trying to figure out how to not dox myself. Give me a sec. What is going on? All right, here we go. There. Yeah, so they have some like weird ice cream flavors. I haven't looked at this. What is this? I can't read any of this. Salted malted chocolate chip cookie dough. Okay, that sounds normal enough. They have some like kind of weird stuff sometimes. I don't see where all their flavors are. All flavors. Here we go. Yeah, so like strawberry pretzel salad, goat cheese marionberry habanero, huckleberry oat crisp. Yes, they have a lot of like unusual ice creams, and there are lines out the door at this place. Food can have literal poison, but the rat poison ice cream is the best flavor. Did I hear oat? Yeah, just get rid of the ice cream, and you got a flavor right there. Obvious difference is that your current scene now has two screens. Oh my God! Wait, I did not mean to do that. Detach. Is there anything else that I had done? I don't even know if that would. Well, that probably would cause this problem to happen. Wow, if that's the mistake. Okay, so now we're at least seeing some content. It's showing up off to the side. That's also a big problem. Puts theme on the root. Puts theme on the inner perk tooltip. Oh, whoops. Oh my God. I made so many mistakes. So many mistakes. Yeah, copy this. Oh, I'm just being an idiot. All right, that looks better already. We're not there yet. What else? Had top level, Z index, bounce filter, theme, and a scale. Interesting. Skeleseller's code waits a full process frame after text changes before positioning. And his viewport clamp uses that. All right, well, this still doesn't work. It still doesn't work. And I should probably just revert it and go back to what we had. Yeah. All right, whatever. That's fine. Delete it. At 20 different ingredients that EU considers illegal. I don't think the ice cream is probably the same way, but it might be. Yeah. Well, if you ever drop by, you can smell the smells at least. All right, so I'm gonna just revert both of these things, and we're gonna go back to what we had, which is this in temp. Yeah, perk tooltip. Body wouldn't be able to handle it, even the smells. You think it would just hit your nostrils and you just be out like a light. All right, we're gonna check this in. Fix centering of tooltips. if you switched between two perks whose tooltips were of different heights, the shorter tooltip would get positioned weirdly until you close the dialogue. Sometimes it's worth a test. All right, so this is done. Now you should probably show your money on the perks dialog. We do this inside of Skeleteller's perks dialog. Right there. So how do we fit this inside Stuck in a Broken Tutorial? A lot of people in the US don't like those crumble cookies either. I've only ever had them when they were offered to me for free. I like free stuff. But yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not worth the money or the calories or the whatever. Okay, what am I doing? There we go. So we could easily fit money somewhere over here. I think it'd be hard to make it fit exactly like it did in Skeleteller. Because in Skeleteller, we had a ribbon off to the top. So we devoted some space. I guess we do have some breathing room here vertically. We could trim that down a little bit. Let me run this. They're positively shocked. Well, maybe to get the taser flavor. Turn off the music. Is that like a sugar cookie? Crumble cookie without the E is a brand of cookie. And their nutrition facts are crazy. Let's see if we can find them really quickly. Do they have it somewhere? Allergy information? Huh. Oh, there it is. Full nutrition. Okay, so here it, oh, select the location. I'd have to select the location to figure out what their cookie nutrition facts are. Yeah, so here's some random thing I found on their site. So calories per cookie. You can see some of these are, oh, this is an ice cream bar cookie. Right? That's a little different. Cupcake cookies, 760 calories. And for frame of reference, because I don't know what other countries publish for their like suggested nutrition facts, but at least in the US, a lot of times they'll base it on a 2,000 calorie diet. So like you eat 3 of these cookies, that would be your like day's caloric intake. Which is, I think, a lot of the pushback. Okay, same there, yeah. And then sugar is nuts, right? Like 68 grams of sugar. How much? A can of Coke is what, like 35? 39? Yeah, so it's like 2 cans of Coke almost. Whatever one of those things would be. It's ridiculous. 50% of your daily calories via sugar. Yeah, now that said, look, all this aside, I think everything in moderation, right? Like if you want some crazy dessert, I don't think you should be having it every day, but it shouldn't be off limits for the rest of your life, probably. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, well, like what's your idea of a cheat day, a pretzel or a cheat meal? I still meant to look at this over here. Yeah. So all we did is we bumped the papery thing down so that we could fit this here. The only issue that I have is, well, I guess it's kind of the same as in here, right? If you don't have the farm, you have no other banner there. Yeah, so here we have 2 banners. We would just have one. Yeah. As a customer, it's bad. You know it's bad before you look at the nutrients. Big white and black stamp. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Yeah. Wow, pretzel. Yeah, you probably would die then. You'd be shocked just like your friends. Yeah, I think there should be a push for more transparency about these things. one of the big offenders, at least again in the US, is Tic Tacs. The nutrition fact of, yeah, like this. Here's some random picture. It says calorie 0 on Tic Tacs. And apparently this is allowed because if the serving size is small enough, you can round down, and the serving size is a half gram. So it's like, yeah, it looks like everything's going to be 0, but it's obviously not a calorie-free food. It's not water. So yeah, it makes it seem like, oh, there's no sugar, there's no anything. And I think that sort of thing should not be okay. They should have to do, I think most countries do like a per 100 grams kind of thing, right? So that you basically can't lie about it or obscure the information. You can always compare with other things. Anyway, I want to add this in. I don't think there's gonna, I don't think we'll carve out space just for this. Yeah. Loot boxes. We have what, the money display? Yeah. So I want a money display inside the perks dialog with a banner, but I don't want the coin graphic there because the coin has an S on it, which made sense in Skeleseller. It doesn't really make sense. Oh wait, there's an S over there too. Whoops. Well, that just looks like it could be a $sign, but this one doesn't exactly. We could just put it there anyway, and just who cares if people comment on it or not. But it is baked into that, right? Did I lose it? Here it is, money container. So this has a, yeah, it's built in. I don't dislike it. But yeah, I don't think we really need that. Let's just start by putting this there. So money display, we'll just take sans panel. So add a money display without the root panel container to perks dialog, so that the player can know how much money they have to be able to buy perks. This is one solution we could do. Another solution we could do is just shrink this dialog a little bit. Like you can see, we're covering this with just the corner up here. So if we shrink horizontally or vertically, it would be fine. And I think that's definitely the easier thing to do. We just shrink this vertically by even what, like 30 pixels or something, and we'd be a-okay. Yeah, maybe we just try that first. This has a size set here of 360. So we just set it to 330. That didn't do anything. Oh, we gotta change something else, right? Is this actually shrinking anything? No, because there's some minimum size set somewhere probably. All right, I'm just gonna have it do this. Yeah. We don't have any changes, right? Nope. Without the root panel container to this, so the player can know how much money they have to be able to buy perks. I say without the root panel container. I guess you may need to refactor the existing money display so that we don't just duplicate the entire scene to accommodate this. I'll have to plan this. And yes, 100 grams, yeah. Always ways that companies in each country has its own things that are manipulated. Yeah, yeah. But I think like there's manipulation and there's like outright fraud. Like imagine if you reported, oh, in 100 grams we have we have whatever, like 14 grams of sugar, let's say, and you're just outright lying. You really have like 56 grams. Like this is just a fraudulent um, assertion. But being able to just make your serving sizes lower is exploiting the system. But then yeah, within those parameters, you're technically correct. So I think it's like, what level of exploitation do you want to allow? All right, what else do you have to do after this? Get all the colors and outlines of perk icons to look good. Let me go find this. We could break this up. Yeah, world creation. All right, so top-down shooter. So let's add in loot boxes. Where is the town view? Here we go. We want to make this look somewhat like Skeleseller. I haven't finished laying out, or like, yeah. The item displays are laid out in a rectangle. I can change the shape / position of that rectangle as needed, as long as we can accommodate the maximum number of item displays. Cheat in maximum money and then get all perks. They currently go out of bounds. The general size of the area should remain the same, and the general layout should be the same. The portal should be on the bottom, and the interactable stuff should be on the top. This is so that the player doesn't see an obvious portal that they want to walk through. Oh, they do report the serving size. Yeah, I don't think the serving size matters too much. And you could figure it out too yourself. Like, how much do I want to eat, or how much am I okay with based on the 100-gram thing? Yeah. The size of the area within the nav tile should remain the same. We can draw outside of it, but because you can't change the camera zoom in this game, we don't need to draw nearly as much as we did for Skeleseller. Hard to eat too much food. Yeah. They're always surprising if you really measure them out. Yeah, well, and sometimes it's easy to measure out, right? Like 2 cookies or something. It's like you don't have to struggle to portion that out. Especially laid out on a rectangle, I can change the shape and position of that rectangle. Size of the area of the nav tiles remain the same. Yeah, I think this is probably pretty good. All right, so what do we have here? Refactor loot boxes money UI so money display is reusable, unframed display content, then place it inside perk dialog. Preserve the existing framed HUD look by adding a thin wrapper scheme. That sounds good. Refactor this. Yep. Update loot boxes, yeah. Add an instance of unframed money display. Update money display to inherit. Yeah, I think this is good. You know, I think having it plan this and then implementing is better than just jumping right to implementation. We are about to hit the quota limit which it doesn't matter too much. It's going to reset in less than an hour anyway. You need to change the arrangement of these, maybe decrease this. I already did that. Consider adding these trees. Yeah. Feel free to add some apple trees. I was thinking of having them spawn apples worth 1G, just like in Skeleseller. Okay, so I gotta talk to Dark about this. Mention that I updated the document to talk about the loot boxes game. The document being this. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so this is probably eaten through the 5-hour quota. It'll then start eating through the weekly limit until it's done with this task, which, like I said, I don't really care about. I'm taking the next 2 days off. I don't know if I'll be working in those days or working on weekends. I really shouldn't. Okay, I think we should go on to the story stuff. Yeah, we can do this some other time. Look at story stuff. So let's start with the dialogue. Maybe let's just look through the dialogue over here. We got to start with Sidekick talking to you. Oh, there we go. All right, so I talked to those NPCs. You're different. Can tell you how long I've been waiting for something like this. I had no idea you were the new villager to move in. When I exercise my agency too, ask me something. Maybe now's a good time to also change how you interact with this. Maybe we should address some of the feedback from checkpoint 1. Yeah, I like this thing. Hey, Grace. It's going well. It's been a good day. How are you doing? Yeah, we got a lot of stuff done with the loot boxes game. Is this finished? Build failed inside the sandbox? Do you want to rerun the requested build outside the sandbox? No, run the exact same thing again, and if it fails again, let me know. What? Unsandbox run was not approved. What? Something strange is happening. Gonna chill a little, watch the stream. Nice. Yeah. Hopefully I can show you. Well, let me wait for this for a sec. But then, yeah, I want to show you what we've done so far. Did it work? Running commands still. Let the current sandbox build attempt finish, so there's a straight process. I don't think this is going to finish. But I don't understand why this wouldn't work. Yeah, I think it is stuck somehow. Oh, it succeeded. Yeah. Running the original command exactly as written. Yeah, it complains about these random like build issues that I don't think are really build issues. I think it's just I'm doing something at the same time that it is. And I don't know what would be getting in the way exactly. It's possible that just triggering 2 different builds does like a clean step at the beginning. And my clean step is wiping out some state that the AI tried using. Hey, Anissa. Well, this is probably going to take another 20 seconds then. Maybe a good AI task to ask eventually is like figure out if we can increase build speeds in some way. I want this to finish. Yep, look at that. It passed. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? All right, well, let's try this. See, I want to show Crace the stuff that we had done earlier. So we have a lot of little, I don't know when you last saw this, but we have a lot of little nice touches now. So this is a little tutorial tip. Open the treasure chest near me. You get your treasure. And then they say, I need customers. Interact with the perk board. So you do, and you see this arrow now pointing over here. So you buy this, and then you get your final tip. And it says interact with the items to set their prices. So we can change the price now. And yeah, there's a lot of other little things that have been done here too. We've got a lot of upgrades. I can kind of just cheat everything in and show you. Definitely do not want this to scroll. Yeah, so this is another new feature too. The item in red is priced way too low. So now you can like change the price on this and it'll still be red until you get to the halfway point. So this is worth 12, I think. But yeah, it's an actual game and it's pretty decent actually. Yeah, so we have the money view in here. I want it to be to the right of perks, I think. That way it doesn't scroll this dialogue. But that I can do on my own. All right, so it implemented it. I don't like where it put it. We'll go change that. Perks dialog, close others. Why is this showing like this? Yeah, what? Report any code from Skelos? Yeah. A decent amount. And especially for stuff like this that we have here. Like this is practically the same game. So I think I want this just alongside here. Maybe on the right, maybe on the left. I don't know what yet exactly. But let's add in an HBox container and put this up here. And put both of these inside the HBox container. Center this. And stop making this take up so much space. Done. So how does that look? Because this is probably bad because your money expands. So we probably got to put this on the right side. Yes, it does look bad. Maybe we should do it the way it just was then. Like that. Oh, this is still probably mess it up. Maybe we should just anchor it to some other part of the screen. Yeah, I like the anchoring idea. That's not bad. It doesn't look bad. But we should have it be floating there, I think. So I want to put a control here with the money display beneath it. Anchor this the top left. You can't do that. There we go. And then put this back alongside it and then just delete this bit. Uh-oh. Oh, I see. That went in the wrong spot. I want it there. Yeah. All right, how's that now? Should look good. Yeah, I think it's pretty nice. So now you have a view for your money. If you did have a ton of money, I'm going to just get to one more digit here. There. Yeah, it's nowhere near overlapping. And now you can see this without closing the dialogue. There's no scrolling. Yeah, this looks great. And it updates correctly. Perfect. Yeah, love it. So yeah, we're at 0% usage now. That's okay. We're going to switch tasks a little bit here. All right, let's go look at the code that we have for this. Get money is now in the dialogue thing. We pass this into which dialogue here exactly? Perks dialogue. I want to rename this to perks dialogue. Ooh, what just happened? This is the loot boxes one. Actually, no, I don't. I'm not gonna do that. Refresh money and affordability. Why do we need get money in that case? Yeah, why do we need get money? What is this used for? Oh, it's the current amount of money. Oh, I thought we were passing in the function. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It's also fine. It says margin container. Honestly, this should just be a control. We don't need anything for the margins there. Yeah. And this is money display. I'll just save that so it doesn't get anything unusual there. Perks dialog has the money displayed. Looks good. So the only thing I don't understand is why does this oh, it doesn't have that anymore. Yes, something was weird there. Now everything looks fine. I don't know if it was a Godot problem or not. Yeah, everything's good. All right, cool. All right, add money UI to the perks dialog. All right, where are we now? Just getting colors and stuff. Strings. Yeah, I said I think we're going to do story things. So let's go figure out the story things. We have to change sidekick dialogue from did you meet anyone scary? Do we need to change anything else here? Man, I'm really concerned about the story pacing of this game. And we just ramped it up a bit with the game design changes I made earlier this week. It used to be that you'd go through different sub games in here, and sometimes you'd leave and not see any story. And now, after every sub game, you'll go back to the Architect's Realm. And the first 2 times, you'll just get sent out of there. Then maybe the third time, they're like, okay, I haven't seen someone 3 times this quickly. And then you start talking to them. And yeah, then you play out the rest of the story. But part of what made me realize this, like, I gotta remember when we started this project instead of just guessing. I think it was like April 17th ish. No, it was before that. Here. So March 30th. So we're what, 3 months and like a week? And we will have what, platformer, farmer, top-down shooter, loot boxes. We'll have like roughly 4 games. So yeah, it's roughly a game a month. So if I don't want this game to take like 4 years, then we've got to spend another year and a half making sub games. Yeah, so anyway. No, Phaedric. But 50 games, 3 to 4 more years. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's probably like, I always have to kind of wonder what's the best incarnation of a game. And the way I think about it is if I knew this game would be the most successful game ever, yeah, I'd probably spend 4 years on it. And it doesn't need to be the most successful game ever, but like let's say you were making Minecraft and I don't know, you didn't know that you had wildfire. So you held off for like 5-10 years or something. It's like that's probably a mistake because people could be playing it and spending money on it ahead of time. But for a single player game experience like this, the more you add up front, I think the better it's going to feel. unless expansions fit nicely with the current game. And this is one of the few times I feel like it can truly just be an expansion, just like more sub games, slightly different story, that sort of thing. Giblito, what's your experience with AI? Have you tried different ones and so on? Yeah, I've tried a few different ones. I only started using Agentic AI maybe like 2.5 months ago. And I think it has completely changed how I do development. My general take is it's no longer optimal for me to code anything. Or rather, I should code very little. I really have to fix this keyboard. In fact, let me just fix that particular key right now. It's very annoying. This is what cat ownership does. I'm gonna put this back on. So hopefully that stops double typing now. All right. Test, 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 test. Yeah. Yeah. So this is my general take. And it's just weird. I feel like I'm in this transition period. I was just talking to a friend yesterday. With any technological change, there is the technical aspect, and then there's the emotional, or I don't know, like societal aspect to it. And as an example, like cars. So in order for you to be a passenger in a car, you literally just get in the vehicle and now someone can drive you somewhere, right? So the difference between that and a horse-drawn carriage in terms of passenger, expected happy path is identical. You're getting into a vehicle, you're being traveled somewhere. But now you're traveling at, 6 times the speed, and that was just impossible beforehand. So technical aspect, totally fine. You can get into a car, you can get into a horse-drawn carriage. But the emotional aspect of like, oh my God, now we can go places we couldn't go before. We can, I don't know, ship goods from farther away. We can connect to nearby towns or cities or whatever. I think the same thing's happening with AI. From a technical aspect, like it's fine. I can use it. I'm doing well. It's speeding up my workflow. But I have not grappled with the emotional aspect yet of like, there's an identity question. Who am I as a developer? There's a little bit of fear here with like, what if everyone could make games in like 1 month with no experience? There's, yeah, I don't know, just a lot of other questions I have not fully come to terms with here. Like, how does it change the stream? What am I doing here? What are you all watching? And this has been tough for me. I think the way things have been changing so rapidly, it's like for me to come to this conclusion that I shouldn't even be writing code anymore, it's like, well, that's what I thought my entire career would be, is me writing code. And before LLMs were a thing, I kept saying like, well, you're still going to be typing on a keyboard for the next like 10 years. And now I'm not even so sure if it's going to be 10 years. Well, I was saying that years ago, I guess. But yeah, what happens if you are just kind of saying all your thoughts aloud and it's perfectly forming into how you would type if you were to type, and we just stop typing as much? Or yeah, what happens if we just don't need to type because we give it a simple prompt and it types out a whole email for us? Yeah. Typing feels nice. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this is kind of where I'm struggling still. And by the way, there are technologies where the technical aspect is difficult. Like, yeah, programming a computer, I would not say is easy. So getting into that, there was more than the emotional aspect. And the technical aspect of learning to code, I think, is longer than the emotional aspect of grappling with what does it mean to code a computer. But with AI, it's the opposite. Using AI is so simple, and grappling with what does this mean for me is much harder. Trying different models, I have 3 to 4 tasks going on and different work trees going on at the same time, all because the company that owns us wants all their affiliated companies and manual coding. Yeah. And I don't even think it's unreasonable, or at least not like, 90% of manual coding. I think 10% it is just faster and easier to do stuff. Like, let's say I want to change whatever, some value. I want to change this from 50 to 100. I'm not going to ask AI to do that. I'll just type in 100, right? Like that'd be a little ridiculous. But if I want to refactor this to a new file and like, I don't know, rework all the icon paths so that we're using the same base string somewhere, like, yeah, I might give that to AI too. So yeah, I think there's gonna be some stuff that's still a little bit faster to do. Okay, so oop, did I accidentally delete that? Yeah. So part of why I was talking about all the stuff that I ventured off into about how many games you can make in a reasonable amount of time is, do we need to change the story beats so far? So story beats we have right now in the platformer, you go to the architect's realm and you get banished into the farming game. So now you're going in the farming game for a bit and you go back to the architect's realm with sidekick this time and you both get banished. So should it change any dialogue leading up to that? I don't know. I actually want to work on this. All right, so agency. Okay. Okay, so what if we block this? The has chosen agency thing. What if we just cut that out? You have to choose them both. There we go. Set has chosen agency. So now we need to know if you've chosen both of them. Wait, I guess we can't delete that then, huh? How funny. Has chosen agency. No, we need to know that you've chosen both. Yeah, so this is kind of stupid. So has chosen agency, has chosen who are you. Perfect. And then at the end of either of these, we jump back to the first question. This can be put back like that. And then the first question needs to jump to the second question if both of these are true. So how do we do that? We need an if statement somehow. There it is. All right, so if has chosen agency is equal to true, I don't know how you type an and in here. I don't know if it's literally the word and, is it? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Then we want to jump to the second question. And then how do you do this? End? End if. Yeah, I've not learned this language. I don't really care to. As long as I can get by. All right, let's go try this out. About an hour ago, what is this? New generation of voice models for natural human AI interaction. Wow. Yeah, crazy. Is this dialogue system something I built or something else? This is called Yarn Spinner. And then I coded something on top that lets the AI, the like computer player automatically choose an answer. So if we go to here and we talk to this person and this person. So now I can ask either question here and now they pick. So like I'm not touching the controller. They're picking their own answer. I want to make sure this is working. Yeah, this is not working right now, I think. I got to fix that. All right, but I got to take a break. Is it jump time? Go again. Close the game. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. All right. So yeah, this is definitely not working. Let's go fix this. So we want free play before sidekick. All right, so what happened? I don't even know what we picked originally. I'll just pick the first question. So we say agency. Now we pick who are you? And everything's fine. Great. Okay. But now let's try that again. This does not. Okay, so that worked okay. Now we try who are you first. Oh, that doesn't really flow, does it? Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. The problem here is that this doesn't really flow correctly. Like, I don't really want this to be the conversation that it is. The gimmick here is that Sidekick is an agent. Like, they can pick their own answers and then respond to you. Maybe we need to restructure this entire thing. Oh, I hope this isn't super tedious. Maybe we just don't even give you the other choice. Maybe we just have it say agency. Yeah, maybe that's better. But then if there's no choice, why are we even having you press something? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should prototype that. Yeah. Agency answer. See, it's just the worst. Who are you? Jump sidekick. Who are you? Okay, so we delete this, 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 which I'll copy over to here for now. This and this. Chosen agency. Who are you? Yeah, those are gone. All right, now we try that. All right, how's this feel? Wait, why are there two options? Should only be one. Who are you? Line 0 3. Yeah, that's good. All right. All right, so I know I'm blocking this with my camera. Let me turn off my camera for a second. So you just have one question you can ask. I think this is reasonable enough. When I exercise my agency to ask me something. Agency question mark? Yeah, this is pretty reasonable. This feels good. All right, so now it's going back to agency. That's a problem. Drudgery. Where is this? Here. Yeah, this is a problem. What did this used to say? Jump sidekick second question. What's your second question? Did you meet anyone scary? People haven't been choosing this. I don't think it's all that great anyway. What if they didn't meet the architect? I think we're getting a little too... No, this is stupid. Yeah, they would have met them. So you'd probably talk to them about them, right? Except for if players aren't choosing this anyway. This isn't really a conversation. I forget exactly. I had 5 people play test the game. I don't think anyone chose this option. And I think what it indicates is that they don't want to be in this conversation for very long. So maybe we just delete the option. Is it important for them to comment on this? Because this is kind of silly anyway. Did you meet anyone scary? They say, huh? What do you mean? I met a shadowy figure that told me to get out. I ended up here. And originally they had not met this person, but now it's impossible for them to not have met them. So like we needed to change this dialogue one way or the other. We could just delete the whole thing. Alternatively, maybe it is good for them to talk about it. Yeah, maybe their line changes to, oh yeah, they seem like kind of a jerk. But I wouldn't say they're scary. This is Yarn Spinner. And Zika, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I was asking, how's your game dev going? Is everything going okay? Yeah, so the cool thing about this dialogue is that it's got its own language for writing out dialogue. So you can do control flow, you can set variables, you can call functions in your code. And yeah, I just didn't want to have to build all this out myself. What does setting this to true do? Yeah, no one really saw this though. I like the idea of this changing your dialogue. Did you meet anyone scary? I met a shadowy figure that told me to get out. I ended up here. And I want this to be italicized. And then I think the whole has chosen scary thing, we just delete this. Been doing an hour there, here and there for an hour of the feedback I got. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, I've commented on this a bunch of times over the years, but I imagine everyone's kind of similar in that you get into phases or cycles with hobbies, with, I don't know, social plans, with just kind of anything, maybe exercising. And lately, I mentioned that my wife and I were going on walks every morning. And I really liked this habit that we were in, and she liked it a lot too. And then something happened. I don't know what it was. Like one of us didn't get enough sleep, or there was a plan in the morning, or I had an appointment or something. And it was like that was just enough to tweak that habit that we had. And I'm like, man, I want to get back to that. But yeah, it's been a few days now, maybe a week. So I think the same thing happens with game dev too. There are cycles where I'm like, I'm in it. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing. I got to keep doing this. And there's cycles where I'm like, you know, it's fun, but I want to put my time elsewhere for a bit. What's stopping y'all? Well, not much is like truly stopping us. It's a combination of, yeah, sleep schedules change slightly, and we're just doing a lot, I feel. We have like, I don't know, 4 sets of social plans in the next week. And actually maybe even more than that. And like that's too much for me, that's for sure. I think it's gonna be too much for my wife too. All right, I like this. I like them acknowledging it. I don't know about this particular dialogue, but then the bit about waiting at the end, I don't think I like. Declare hide wait equals not has chosen scary. Okay, I want to put a link to this in the README because I'm about to lose this, I think. So we search for hide wait. I didn't find anything. It's underscore wait. Yeah, so this is how we do this. Whoa, what? Pressing Y now copies the link to the clipboard? Oh, wow, that's new. You used to have to press Y, which would change it to the canonical link and then also copy it. That's kind of nice. All right, so where did I write this stuff down? There's some README somewhere, and I gotta go figure out where that is. BTFF type MD. I guess that one. Game docs yarn spinner. This is not what I want. I guess it's in here. Hide. Yeah, this is how conditionally hiding and disabling. If I were to link to this, would this be, oops, that's not what I meant. Declare hide wait has chosen hide if colon hide wait. If I stay away from my project or Godot in general for a day or three, I'm back at it fully charged and motivated. Yeah, yeah. And I've had different thoughts about this depending on whether I was working a full-time job on the side of game dev or not. And back then, yeah, when I was working at a full-time job and then doing game dev on the side, it was I would have mindful tasks and mindless tasks. Because sometimes you're just burned out at the end of a day. And mindless tasks could be something like, hey, go, restructure a sprite sheet or something. You're not even drawing. You're just moving stuff around. And a mindful task might be make a new system in your game. And yeah, when you're feeling energized and you've taken enough of a break, the mindful tasks are the ones you pull from. Otherwise, like sometimes you want to make progress on something. It's like, well, I'll sit down and I'm a playtester. I'll come up with the feedback. Yeah, I think this whole wait dialogue is unnecessary. And the only thing I'm concerned about is should I save this somewhere? Maybe I will. Yeah. Conditionally hiding options. I wrote about this in my Obsidian notes, but here's a code example that we used to have. That's not the code example. Here's the code example. And then the Obsidian notes. Hiding and disabling. There we go. Hey, Steven. The new album. I've only ever heard Tupac on the radio a long, long time ago. Is this some like AI produced thing? Is this lending credence to the whole he's still alive? All right, I guess we delete this now. Wait before going. So this entire thing will be gone. Has chosen wait should also be gone. Hide if, hide wait. As chosen scary. We don't need this either, do we? Do we need to block those out? I don't think we need to block those out. This is very difficult. As chosen wait. This is going to get deleted. We delete all this before going to community center. What is this? Oh, I see. Okay, nothing else jumps to this, so we could actually rearrange a lot of this, right? Yeah. And then again, nothing jumps to this now, so we delete that too. All right, it's a lot simpler. Yeah, 2D game is coming along, but I have so much to fix. Is it playable? Isn't into OG hip hop? No, I'm into it, or at least I was into it. I just don't currently listen to it. I used to listen to the radio for a lot of stuff. Now I just don't. Now I listen to YouTube music or whatever. Yeah, sure. I'd like to see it. If you can share it in the show and tell channel in Discord. I think you're already in the Discord. Love to see your reaction to so-called underground music. I probably wouldn't like it if you'd like to see my reaction to it. I generally don't like music with lyrics as much as I like just instrumental music. I listen to a lot of like classical music, video game music. A lot of Skeleseller music. Pay a dime for it. You multiply that by 100. No, I'm probably not gonna do it. All right, let's read this in the game. And do I want to block those things out? I guess they wouldn't say anything different. The problem is they're an agent. Then that's why I didn't want you repeating any dialogue with them. Yeah, I might want to change things. In fact, it would actually be kind of interesting if you could pick the same dialogue option and they're like, whoa, like, what? You just said that to me. Because it's a very common thing in old video games that there's some dialogue option. Every time you pick it, the NPC answers the same way. This would never work in real life, right? You can't just say, like, how was your day? And they say whatever, they have some answer. And then you're just like, how was your day again? They'd be like, you just asked me that? You could say, what, I didn't hear you. That would work. But you can't just keep repeating the same line in a real conversation. So this character being an agent would comment on it if you were to do that. But I don't think it's even possible here. So like here you can pick an option. Yeah, and then that's it. We just move past this. All right, did you meet anyone scary? So if you pick this. Yes, now we should disable that option, I think, once you've picked it. All right. Let's go figure out how to do that. Yeah, I guess we do need this here. Did you meet anyone scary? Oh, wait, we already have this. Oh, I deleted this, didn't I? Yeah, whoops. Let's go put that back. Has chosen wait, has chosen agency, has chosen scary, yeah. All right, cool, yeah. I'll check it out later, Steven. Interesting system. Need to look into this yarn system and try it for myself. Yeah, I think this is pretty nice. And I think if you have complicated dialogue, it's nice, or a lot of dialogue. But if you've only got, let's say, 3-4 lines, it's not too bad to just roll something that's custom. Because there is some overhead in being able to use this. Like it's got to process all of this stuff. There's some loading time to it. We need to like hide that loading time. It's not the most straightforward, so you have to learn how this works. And what was the other problem? Oh yeah, you need to work with their UI, which might be slightly different from what you want. So like I had to duplicate a lot of these things. So I have my own options presenters and stuff, just so I can get slightly different behavior here. It's a little bit of a mess. What I ended up with, I mean. I think the system is like good enough. All right, so this, any idea how to escape? We don't actually ever check this again, do we? Has chosen escape. You can't get back to this dialogue, I think. Yeah, no, you never get back to this, do you? No, you don't. Interesting. So this is pointless, isn't it? Oops. Yeah, this is pointless. It was always pointless, though. Always has been. All right, are we done now? Let me try it again. Skip through this even faster. Why is it still selected? Man, what is the point? Did I forget to set this to true? I probably did. Yes, I did. Ugh. So much for I did everything correctly. Let's try again. I'm just changing too much at once. I gotta skip through all this. Okay, so now it's not working. All right, what am I doing? The if at the end has to evaluate to true if what? We're disabling it? What am I missing? What am I missing? Didn't this used to work? Scary equals false, yeah. Yeah, this definitely used to work. Did this not rebuild? I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand what I did wrong. All right, false wrong? No, weird. What am I missing? I'm gonna try this one more time. I don't see a problem with this. Actually, wait, did it not save? No, it had to have saved, right? Yeah, it had to have saved. It's probably take too long to get through this. Okay, so now we say, did you meet anyone scary? What is happening? Yeah, weird. What if I set this to true? What happens? Were these reversed the whole time? I find that hard to believe because we had everything else working just fine. Let's just jump right to the second question. Yeah, jump to there. Now I don't need to go through the whole dialogue. Why isn't it jumping? Okay, well, this clearly is showing that I'm not using the newest version of this. I don't know why it's not using the newest version of this. Was I changing anything this time? I know I was, because I was. What am I missing? I shouldn't have to build anything. Nothing else even changed here. This knows it has the changes. So what if I just say Testeroni, this works. I save and I press F5. Yeah, weird. I wonder if there's a parse error in here. I've never seen this before. I've never had to do anything else. And the only thing I could even think that I might have to do is open up the Yarn project and do something with this. Recompile? What does this do? Compile all scripts, also generates variable storage class file. Wrote something. I didn't see any other modifications here. Add line tags, update localizations. Wow. What is going on? Story variables. Has chosen escape still exists. That doesn't sound good either. Hey, Faceless. Okay, I've never seen this happen before. I don't know how I got myself into this state. These variables don't exist anymore. This recompile button doesn't seem to work. Oh my God, there it is. Jump to undefined node. Oh my. Why doesn't that error show anywhere else? Oh, I gotta write this down for sure. Changes you make aren't actually doing anything. This, how is it connected to Godot? Is it MCP? No, it's just, I just pointed it at the workspace. So it doesn't actually directly go change Godot. It just modifies scene files on disk. So it almost always means you have a compilation error in your yarn script, in a yarn script. So this doesn't show over here. Yeah, this doesn't show over here at all. It'll show from Godot though when you click recompile scripts in project. Oh man, what a stupid thing to get stuck on. And it's an easy error to fix. Yeah. To figure out what the error is, simply open the .yarn project file in Godot and click recompile scripts in project. You should see a Godot error print out like this. Oh, that didn't work. Copy. Oh man. All right. Yeah, what a waste of time that was. All right. So what is it? Trying to go to community center? Let's go to community center. I just meant to delete that line. Oh man. Why I'm taking time off. Okay, well now it broke for a different reason. Given key testeroni was not present in the dictionary. Whoa, interesting, because they're all voiced characters and testeroni is not a character name. Well now we're back on track. So yippee. All right, yep, great. This is working. Did you meet anyone scary? So this should be back to being false. And then we write here, when it comes to disabling stuff, option out of the box, mark option unavailable. by adding a Boolean afterward. If false appears after the option, after evaluation, you can decide whether unavailable means hidden or disabled. Yeah. This game going to be single player? Yeah. It's going to be single player. Yeah, I think you asked me this recently about like, will there be a multiplayer game here? Was that you? Yeah. Well, you asked at least am I going to make multiplayer games, but um, I don't think multiplayer makes sense for this kind of game. And the other thing too, I'm not sure if I've ever seen a game where it's story driven and it's single player with some multiplayer components. I guess the closest you get to that is like MMORPGs or something, where like you might have someone else in your party at the time, but you don't have to. But most games, if they're story driven, they're either single player from the beginning or they're multiplayer from the beginning. The one exception I can think of off the top of my head that I've played is Secret of Mana, where it starts single player and then like you unlock characters partway through, and then it's multiplayer from then on, or could be multiplayer. Always want to see a multiplayer top-down game like Pokemon. I think there are a lot of those in the form of those .io games that exist. In fact, I wonder if there's like a Pokemon IO game. Poke Rogue, Poke Clicker. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can't get the Pokemon theming, but yeah, there's probably something like that. I think whenever you make a multiplayer game, there's just so many things you need to consider that you didn't need to consider as a single player game. And as a really simple example, if you're making a competitive multiplayer game, anything you do that makes you feel powerful will make someone else feel frustrated. So that on its own, you already now need to think about. Whereas in a single player game, if you feel powerful, like so what? The computer doesn't have feelings. They're not going to care if you're destroying them. But yeah, even with cooperative stuff, it's like you need to worry about cheating and exploiting and how do you keep a player base and so if I ever make a multiplayer game, I want to make one that's just like a you play with your friends and not you play with, 100,000 other people. Campaign turn-based combat, each person gets to control one person. Yeah, that's like how Baldur's Gate does things. And like I said, that's like I guess you could look at it either way, like a single player story game from the beginning or a multiplayer story game from the beginning. You just happen to have the option of switching between them. But it's not like the having more players changes those options. It's just you have more people voting, right? Hey, Cluby. Still really early, lots to do. Yeah. And like I said, it all depends on the class of multiplayer you have. So if it's like multiplayer across randos on the internet, then I think you have like way more difficult problems. But if it's multiplayer with your friends, then I think things are generally a lot easier. Ever played Dave the Diver? No. I think I'd probably enjoy it. I just haven't gotten it. All right, let's try this out again. I didn't expect changing the dialogue to take this long. I mean, part of it's technical, but part of it is figuring out what they should even say. Oh, I don't have enough strawberries. Okay, we gotta change this section now. The game concept took a few days after that. I guess like what level of playable is it? Like, have you had your friends try it out with you? Because I think that's an exciting part in any game's maturity, is getting to the point where you're like, you're just playing and having fun. I raided Daenerys the other day and she was playing her own game. And I mean, I don't understand much about the game. I haven't played it myself, but it's cool that she's gotten to that point. Like, you always know what should happen. I don't think you can be surprised by something you made in terms of like, is the story going to shock you because you wrote the story, right? But I think if there's a game with any sort of emergent gameplay or just, I don't know, a fun mechanic, something that you like you can make a rhythm game and that doesn't mean you're good at it. It's like if I coded Guitar Hero, I'm not like an expert at pressing all those buttons and figuring things out, right? So you might have fun getting better at it and then, yeah. But yeah, I think there's a category of games you could make that you'll probably just never really have fun playing. But who knows? Maybe people are different from me in that way. Maybe they make their own story-driven games and they're like, I just love playing through it. But yeah, I am a much more mechanics-driven gamer for sure. Not a huge fan of storylines. Okay, so we've cleaned this up. Yeah. Clean up farming dialogue or sidekick dialogue. So what do we really do here? I removed the first choice based on feedback from my friend Sam. He said that it was weird that you were disabled from picking a particular option. I just cut out the option and had it play out in the same order. Well, like, but otherwise had it play out in the same basic flow that it used to. Also got rid of an unused variable, consolidated some options, and what else did I do? Deleted some dialogue that wasn't important anymore. Yeah. I think multiplayer games are a category of games that you are more likely to have fun as a developer because playing with other people will change the experience for you. So like if I made Smash Bros, I'd probably still have fun playing Smash Bros. If I made Diablo 2, I'd probably still have fun playing with other people. But yeah. Like I had fun playing Skeleseller too, even though it was single player. I mean, I didn't have fun on the, 60th time that I played or something, but it was fun to test things out. And I had fun playing through the game I was just playing earlier today when I was testing it out. And I played for what, like an hour. And it was just honest play testing. Did I not press the play button? Yeah, this loot boxes game I think is actually pretty decent. It's a very simple game. And I mean, all the sub games in this game have to be pretty simple, but like, yeah, opening up loot boxes and then setting the price on them and getting upgrades. I think it's cool to see this get built up. And code just asynchronously adds new features. Hey, I mean, that will probably happen eventually. It's one of my fears about game dev. Hey, Jesta, this time you spelled dialogue as dialogue. In your notes, use dialogue. Is this the real Adam? Tell me which browser game I recommended to you this year. Which browser game? I don't think I remember. But dialogue, I use this for technical dialogues. Like this is a dialogue. And this I use for speech between like characters. So that's the UE difference. And I think this is generally how it is for just American English. Right? Yeah. Apparently no, it's an American British thing. But at least that's the distinction that I make. But yeah, what's the browser game you recommended? Can you give me a hint? I can't remember a browser game you suggested. But I gave you a point, by the way. I don't know if you saw a.land/points. I sent you a DM on Discord. So now you are on the leaderboard because I coded those little arrows that you suggested. Thought the piano skills would come in useful. Oh yeah, the sound wave game, right? Yeah, I remember that now. When you said browser game, I was picturing something on like itch. Yeah, like what I was saying. Okay, good. I'm not crazy. All right, so this is done. What else do we have here? Hmm. Yeah, the leaderboard is for points. When you think we might review my progress, curious what you think. Either tonight or tomorrow, maybe. Like, so if it's tonight, it'd probably be in like 3-4 hours. If it's tomorrow, it might be, I don't know, early morning, something like that. But I'm not totally sure. I tend to go through my Discord messages a few times a day. All right, I have drastically slowed down since this morning. I think I'm in vacation mode already. I'm debating on whether it's good to go further with this. Definitely met the archetype. So we did this. This is the next big task that I would do. I don't think I could get this done super quickly. Yeah, the AI stuff just reset. I could just do some like mindless AI task. Made it to my offline house. Are you typing this from your phone? And congratulations. I hope it feels good. I hope you really like living there. I'm always so excited by these milestones in other people's lives. It's just anything that signifies almost like a new beginning to me. It's exciting. And it doesn't even have to be big. On the phone via mobile data. Nice. You use those 25 gigabytes. You've used them wisely. What bullets here do you think you could solve with 100% confidence? I mean, that's what we did earlier. And it actually works pretty well. I should probably just do this stuff because this is pretty important. Yeah, let's go do that. So yeah, we have some like toxic filter over our icons. I don't like this at all. Let's take a look. So this is what it looks like in this game. I want to take a look at it in Skeleseller as well. Where is Skeleseller here? Because I want the same general colors. I like the colors of Skeleseller. Nope. Wait, can't you play this with a controller? Oh, you can. There we go. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I coded that. Yeah, so here's what we had over here. Yeah. I want these colors. Actually, I need to not have enough money. So let's go start a new game. I want enough money for only like some of this. I have 90, so clicking any of these should be fine. Yeah, there we go. All right, so yeah, we have these toxic, like bold orangish brown color. I want it to look like this. So let's go paste this in like so. So I'll say this is enabled and purchasable. No, I'll do it through here. I don't need to put it in the image. Okay, so I've attached two images. The first is from Skeleseller. In it, the first icon is enabled and purchasable. The second is maxed. Yeah. And the third is disabled but purchasable. I want these same colors to be used in Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And what controlled this was some shader that we had. I think it was a saturation shader. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Sorrow. I agree completely. Feels huge and so surreal. It's not really easy or affordable to buy houses. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm excited for you. I think it's great. Skeleton, the shader we used was this one. The second image that I've attached is how these same icons look in Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I haven't actually attached it yet. But we only have max. We don't have an unpurchasable one, so I gotta go take a picture of that. Okay. So we need a little bit of money, but not a lot of money. Just a little bit. So I'll just set these to 10 and we'll hope that someone comes and buys it. They will not buy it. Actually, given a long enough time, I think they will, because I think there's like a 1% chance that they buy the item on the left. Oh my god, they're still upset. Little jerks. They'll pay exactly 2 gold for that. I need 10 gold and this is not supposed to be hard. There we go. All right, so here's a good picture that we can take. Now we'll set this to plan. All right, so what do we have in this picture? The first icon is maxed. The second is purchasable and enabled. And the third is disabled but purchasable. It's the exact same thing, right? No, it's not the exact same thing. All right, so figure out how to make the SIABT icons look like Skelesellers. While still having still allowing for an outline around them. Outline around the selected perk. This should be simple. It should just be a shader that does both of these things. Hey, Kizu. Double income, no kids, good combo. Very rural house. They call it the Factorio Palace. Many a Factorio factory was made there. Or will be made there, excuse me. Actually, if you don't have internet the next 2 days, it's very possible. I could slide back into Factorio. Hey, Galaxy Inferno, have you played any of those games like Fields of Mystria? Because I know you liked Stardew and Harvest Moon. This game looked interesting. I might eventually get this. It's in early access right now. It looks very similar to like a Stardew kind of game. Yeah. It did very well. Look at that. 20 different keys. This is like a Matrix reference. Camel Soup. Seen a streamer play it. It looked fun. I'm trying to go in totally blind if I go play it. I think a lot of that kind of game is fun for me to discover a lot of my own. The big data pull, Cozy Town Builder and Sims, and this is one of the bigger names. Yeah. This just looks so bad compared to Skeleseller. These look much more professional. Still too vivid. Yeah. Only Story of Seasons and Rune Factory. Thankfully, there's a big backlog, so I never had to risk the niche farming games. I see. And Steven, sorry, I don't talk about that stuff. I've mentioned this before. I'm married. My wife is a little bit more private than I am. So I have to like not lower, like raise to her privacy level. So yeah, there's certain things I just don't talk about. Probably shouldn't have visible focus style. That's already done. This I don't know what we do about. We got to find a font that works for practically everything. Maybe I just throw some font into the game. It could even be the Skeleseller font. I don't think we want to use it everywhere though. Yeah. A few for the house door. Like 10 locks on it. A live party with chat. You imagine? Now, I have met people through Twitch before, and it's generally been a pleasant experience. I think the easiest way of kind of setting it up is if someone else is already a longtime streamer and like I've watched their stream and they've watched my stream. And that way it's like, all right, you know, this person exists and that they're somewhat normal. So 4 to 5 copies of each. I see. Are you going to change them at all? Because I feel like that's a consideration. Because if they have 4 or 5, who says they don't have more? Update existing perk icon shader instead of replacing it with Skelesellers directly. Already owns a selected perk outline. Yep, keep that logic. Sounds good. Serve existing uniforms consumed by this. Replace current luminance and alpha with this formula. Don't fade disabled icons by alpha. Keep them opaque. Yeah, that sounds great. And I'm so glad I don't have to do this. This is exactly the kind of work I never want to do in my life. Do I believe in aliens? I think it would be. I think it's hard for me to believe that we'd be the only sentient life in the universe. So in that sense, like there's probably something out there. But I don't know if we'll ever like meet up with any other creature like that in our lifetimes. There's some well-known either hypothetical or thought process or theory about this, which is like if other technologically advanced intelligent life exists in the universe, that the only way we'd come in contact with them are basically bad reasons. Like they're out to conquer us or they're out to take resources or they're it's like what are the odds that they'd be friendly, especially given how humans act with other humans. Big gamble meeting Twitch folks, Adam. I mean, it is kind of a gamble sometimes because every once in a while it was someone that they don't stream. And yeah, I wouldn't say I've had any like scary experiences or anything, but there's been some like awkward meetups. You know, it's like we didn't really have much in common. And they obviously know a lot more about me if they're watching my stream than I know about them. Hey, Sean. Dark Forest? Yeah, that one. Yep. I'd say friendly is as likely as non-friendly. Would you though? Like if you just look at Earth as an example of how going into different territories has been over the entirety of human history, do you think most of those were friendly? Because they weren't. On a species deserving? I don't think it's contingent on that. I mean, the other thing you have to assume is like what causes a species to get more technologically advanced to the point where they could travel. It's like what makes a human become a billionaire. It's not you just like stumble into that money. There's no lottery that big. So you'd have to keep trying to accumulate wealth, and in the process, you wouldn't be sharing it. You would be probably exploiting people. So I think it's the same thing with if you just kept getting like technologically more advanced as a race, that you would eventually have some imperious feelings. Would depend on their resources. Yeah, I suppose so. Anyway, there's a lot I think to that, and yeah. Anyway, probably answer the question. All right, now let's snooze ads for as long as we can. Oh yeah, I also want to fill out the journal. I'll say here, afternoon wasn't as productive, but I worked on miscellaneous outstanding tasks. Render has started and is past the usual certification warning, hasn't exited. Visual smoke is hanging, waiting for a render frame signal in headless mode. Shader logic is already loaded. All right, let me just try running this. Might just be fine. Too many danger points for catastrophe. Yeah. I guess I never really thought about it that way. But I could see that. All right, so this is still too saturated, right? Yeah, I hope it fixes this. Wait, what? What? It didn't look okay. Why is this? What happened here? Unless I did it at just the wrong time. Oh, or maybe it does match and I'm just being blind. No, these look totally different from over here. What is going on? They're still totally different. Colors don't match at all. Okay, now that's more along the lines of what we had before. It's still different though. And if we give ourselves money, yeah, something weird's going on. Do we have a modulate in the mix somewhere? Perk icon. Icon material. Do we set a modulate? Cost container does, but not anywhere else? No, not anywhere else. Weird. Apply saturation. Focus color, source color. Well, something's wrong here. Yeah, something's wrong here. The focus color is different from the rest. That's just a yellow color on the outside. That's fine. Huh. Coming here for resources. I mean, maybe it's not planetary resources. Maybe it's human resources. Maybe it's a race of middle managers and they need people to manage. Maybe the universe is one big The Office episode. Oh God, don't. They just need some water cooler conversation. What better place to get that than the planet that's mostly water and sometimes needs that water cooled? All right, I don't know what's going wrong here. Let's just turn off the shader for a second and see what's happening. Duplicate it, then set it. Yeah, this is where we do this. So it must be set on the button itself, right? Perk button. Oh, it looks bad even in here. Wow, look at that. Material is a shader material. That's fine. Texture is fine. Modulate is not set. So if I just turn this off, would you look at that? So yeah, the shader is doing some trash here. We need to stop the trash from happening. What is causing that like toxic color? Apply saturation. This should only be done like what we're doing in Skelesalar as well. If is pressed, we don't have it pressed. And that's it. So it's pretty much just these two things. Let's delete this for a sec and see what happens. Should just change automatically, right? I think it should. We might need to go to edit over here. We'll put this icon there and scroll down to here. Interesting. Okay. So what if I just say RG, how do you do this? Vec for 1 0 0 1. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. So yeah, this is the problem right here. Texture UV times color. Because it's none of this, right? Yeah, no, it's none of that. How is this breaking? And what do we do in the Skelesalar shader? We didn't multiply by color after that. That's what we did. So I just delete this. Wow. Looks great. Strange. All right. Well, now I'm guessing everything's fixed. Race of manager aliens armed with coffee mugs. Whoops. World's best alien. This looks so much better. Yeah, so much better. All right, let's get some money. I just need 10. There we go. All right, look at that. Yeah, great. All right, nice job. Let's go check this in. This is an automatic change that was done here. Yeah, I'll check that in on its own. Except Godot, automatic Godot change. This is when saving the scene. Cool. And then fix ugly icon colors. The shader had a times color in it. I also had AI incorporate the same colors that Skelesalar had. All right, nice. So this is like the perfect AI task, right? Collect strings to be translated. You can probably do the ones in the scripts totally fine. The ones in the scene, we got to be a little more careful about. I should go through scenes manually and find instances where we need to translate strings. Oh, you know what Godot 4.8 just added? 4.8 dev. What am I doing? Oh, nice. I knew what I was searching for. They added a pseudo localization right in the editor. Yeah, here, this preview. So here they have Infernal Mon written in English, and then they switch to pseudo localization, and you can see this is localized. I need something like that. I mean, we could just update, but I need something like that too, so I can tell what we haven't localized. Hey, James. Been checking in from time to time. 2 questions. How much revenue did Skelesalar make in the end? And will it feature as a sub-game in Stuck in a Broken Tutorial? So the specific revenue, I haven't shared and don't plan on sharing. But it did well. I mean, it wasn't like a breakout hit or anything. It was, yeah, it did pretty well. I made more than minimum wage at least, so that's nice. And then the second question, we already have it, and it's like practically done. It's this loot boxes game here. So this is using, well, for now it's using the cleric, but it's eventually going to be custom for this game. But yeah, you open treasure chests and you get loot, and then you upgrade a portal in the town. Now customers can come buy this loot, and you set the price unlike in Skeletop. So yeah. And the gimmick here, because this is stuck in a broken tutorial, is that you can just leave this game as soon as you get the portal. So if you walk down here and go inside of it, you're done. You can just ignore the whole game. But I think it's a pretty fun game. So I expect people to play it for like 10, 15 minutes and then eventually discover the portal and probably leave. Well, the 50 concurrent players thing is probably just because it's on sale right now. I think this is also a testament to needing to lower the price even more. So I'm going to lower the price in one day. How many people are playing it right now? Yeah, 28 players right now. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to lower the price in another day. And then I'm going to do an autumn sale and then lower the price again. Hey, Headless Hunter. Hey, Chopper. And Hinsey. Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for the raid. Let me mute this. No. Oh, wait. Okay, there. I was going to say, I got to snooze this ad that's about to happen. Headless Headhunter. Noise. Yeah, I hope you had a good stream. And thanks, James. Yeah, I feel like, this is one of the things of being a Twitch streamer. Like, there should be a decent amount of validation. Sorry, let me be clear. When I say should, I mean just like the circumstances of being a sort of a public figure here doing this stuff means that some people should come in and say like nice things from time to time. And I think that there are two ways you get this as a game dev. You get it through playtesting and you get it through launching. So adding on the Twitch stream is a nice way to hear that like, oh, things are kind of going on the right track or that other people are feeling good about it too. So I like that. And reviews. Yeah. I mean, that comes from launching, right? The reviews. Had another 2 success stories. Awesome. My stream just trolls me, so I feel you on that. I think like the people who come in here to troll, if they're doing it in a way that's funny to me, I'm okay with it. But like every once in a while, we've had some kind of weird questions in here lately. And I'm like, look, that's not the tone of this stream. I have to put my foot down. Am I a troll? No, I don't think you're a troll. Are you trying to be a troll? I don't think someone who's not trying to troll would ever need to ask that question. Yeah, there's laughing with you and laughing at you. Yeah. Am I using Ryder? I am using Ryder. Yep. And no, Scholar, you're very positive. Yeah, making jokes is fine. I don't think making jokes is trolling. And like I said, I think trolling can be like negative trolling or like funny trolling. That's how I kind of bucketize them. Negative trolling is more along the lines of like, let's irritate this streamer. And yeah, those people I try to just get out of the stream pretty quickly. And funny trolling is fine. Like imagine playing Persona almost. And that can get to be too much too. I mean, sometimes you want to have a serious conversation. I fight friendly my viewers daily. Yeah. Hey, Headless Headhunter, how much has AI changed your realm? Has it been affecting everything? Has it not changed too much? Because I've been using it pretty extensively now, and I've been pretty happy with it. So in loot boxes, why is it not working? How do you find? Interesting. I want to find the folder, like source/loot boxes. I don't know how to even, what's going on right now. Yeah, weird. Okay, let's go find this. Game source sub games. Yeah, what? Sub games loot boxes. Why can't it? There we go. I want to find any user facing strings that should be translated. and pass them into trn or translation server dot translate. Yeah, let's do this. I don't have any outstanding changes, so I'm just going to go on this. Practically zero. Some slight changes in how our data can be seen, but not a huge impact overall. But the people you're helping out, I mean, has it changed things for them too? Because wouldn't that change the input you give them? Because at least I'm not in your industry, and I don't want to make it sound like I know more than you do. I certainly don't. But the people I've talked to who are applying to places have said that it is much, much harder to get responses because of the volume of applications that are out there now. And then the people who are on the flip side who posted job postings said they got like 500 job postings or 500 applications. It's not AI, it's we're in a recession. Okay, yeah. I see. What are your primary use cases for LLMs? I like it locally for search, so I can describe what I'm looking for, but rarely using something generated as an end product. So first of all, I want to comment that in 20 seconds, there's going to be an ad that I cannot stop. So you might not be able to hear the full answer here. But my primary use cases are for any grunt work coding that I don't want to do. And it has slowly evolved into a lot of the coding that I do. So like this, for example, what I need to do right now is I need to go through something like this. And there are English strings here, like max customers. This is literally only in English. So if you were playing in French right now, you would still see the words max customers, which I don't know, maybe that makes sense to you as a French person, but like it wouldn't make sense to you if you only spoke Japanese. So we need to find these strings and then convert them into translated strings. And I could do this. I could go in here and I could type, well, let me do this in another file. I could type tr around this and then run my localization command. And that's it. That's all we need to do right now. But like AI can find all these things for me. So why not have it do that? Versus search for a job, but AI is not the reason. It's there are just more people that need jobs and have them than exist. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess what we'll see is if we're, I don't know, like let's say 5 years from now, if we're not in a recession and this still holds true, then yeah, maybe it does turn out to be AI. But it could be that that shifts too. A lot of layoffs are coming to need to justify capital expenditures. Yeah. I think also, I mean, we are coming out of the COVID boom for hiring that had happened too. And I think the layoff meta has changed. I still feel like Musk kind of popularized it with what happened to Twitter. All right, so going through scenes I don't want to do right now. Like I said, I'm being very low energy right now. I'm toward the end of streaming. I'm toward the beginning of taking time off. So I'm going to be lazy right now. Yeah. Basically using it like a macro that way. I like that use case too. Yeah, in this case, but in some cases it's truly like, hey, here's a feature, go make that feature. And I think a lot of it is like, okay, I've been a game dev for a long time now. I've been a developer for longer. I have done a lot of different things. And I think there are kind of some broad categories of tasks. Thank you, Headless Headhunter. And you take care too. Yeah, I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. So there's some broad categories of work that you do. There's novel work. There's like research work. There's grunt work, boilerplate. And yeah, I'm not going to try to be exhaustive here, but novel work I think is still interesting to do. I think it's almost always been interesting. I like the things that I'm working through a problem and I'm figuring out the next step. But so much of what I do feels like it falls under this category more and more. And especially with the game I'm working on now. The game I'm working on now is stuck in a broken tutorial, and it is really many sub games. And there are a lot of things. If you're making one game, you might do a task once and be done with it. But in this particular game, like you start and you're in a platformer. So like we press right, we press left, it's moving us, we have an animation and it's moving that character, right? Now we're in a farming game and you press right, you press left, and you're moving and you have some animations. They're a little bit broken because we just don't have sprites yet. But like this has different rules than a platformer because there's no gravity pulling you to the bottom of the screen the whole time. then you get into this top-down shooter game, and it's like, okay, they're kind of similar, but now you can run and shoot at the same time, which you can't do in the farming game. So it's like, look, making a character move across the screen is something that I have done in this game 4 different times. And I'm going to have to do another probably like 12 times. And I don't want to do it. So I'm probably going to have AI do most of that stuff. Where you just like pass in a sprite sheet and it's like, all right, here are the animations. When you progress in one game, do you progress in the overall game? Sort of. So all of this is like figure out how to leave the game that you're in. So like this game, the way you leave is just by getting the portal and then just walking through the portal. So did you progress the overall game by doing this? Like kind of, I guess. It's sort of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example of another game that does something like this. I guess it's like Myst or Riven. Any game where you're not leveling up or anything. You're just kind of moving to the next event in the story. And when you get done with all those events, you're done with the game. And yeah, maybe you get more power or more tools or something across completing that game, but yeah, it's not like I don't know, like Diablo. I feel like for some problems it's hard enough to explain to the LLM what you even want. I don't know, it's kind of surprising sometimes how this works and like what you can do. So did this pass in the, no, it didn't. Where does translate come from here? Translation server.translate. This is a little bit strange that we had to make a function for this. And like, wouldn't we end up with this function in every place? Wow, this is great. Oh my God, it even came up with the names for it. Loot boxes leave, confirmation stay. Loot boxes leave, confirmation go. That's fantastic. Unfortunately, unless it's going to make the localization files, then I would have lost all the original strings. So I might have to go plug those in myself. Hey, Oceanies. Ideally, that way you do more novel work and less boilerplate. Yeah, or at least, like, if what you have is a bunch of boilerplate anyway, at least you'd be able to get through it faster. I do feel like I'm making way faster progress than I used to be. I mean, not right this second. I'm very tired right now. I've done a lot. Just need to write a bunch of text that outlines what the game is, because if you give it too much freedom, that's what it makes up dumb stuff. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, this is kind of just like spec writing. If you say, I want feature X, it should do Y when Z, and I don't know, A when B, something like that. It's like, okay, this is more specific than just like, go make a fun thing for the game. And you can get even more specific with this. And if you look at some of the prompts that I've given it, well, I'm not going to go through them all, but yeah, there's some pretty extensive ones. It feels like people have their own relationship or use case for LLM since they're sufficiently broad. And I question some of these relationships. I think in the end, it's does. Oh, wait, did this sync source localization? Just run everything. All right, well, this is probably using a whole bunch of quota. Not that I care because I'm going to be done pretty soon. Anyway, I was going to say, I think at the end of the day, it's like, is an LLM making your work better, more accurate, faster, like all the above, cheaper somehow? And if it's meeting some metric for you, then it might make sense to use it. I mean, you might have some reasons not to use it too, but for me, it makes sense. I feel like I'm going to use it. I think the other thing, and there's this meta component of competition where, like, I'm a game dev. I sell the games I make. If other people can make games 20 times faster, does it change my enjoyment of making games? Like, not exactly, although it kind of does. But, like, does it change the ability for me to make money making games? Like, yeah, it would, right? If you can pump out 20 games and 20% of them are hits, you're going to make 4 games that are hits in the time that I make one that has a 20% chance of succeeding. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense to get on the same level and use the same tooling and everything. But I think in the not exactly sense here, it's like if you found out that a hobby you're doing just for fun you could have like 10x the amount of fun, let's say. And I know that's not how hobbies work. But like you'd probably be curious. You'd probably want to try that out. And maybe you find out you have some latent other motivators. It's not just the hobby. Maybe it's the thought of being the best at that hobby. Maybe it's the thought of making money through that hobby. Then yeah, it could change your enjoyment of it. So I'm doing game dev for a mix of reasons. I like it. I like the idea of making games and bringing enjoyment to people. I'd like to be doing it efficiently too. I'm not actually sure what this is doing now. It better not be modifying scene files. It's not. And did it put in the original scripts here? Nice, it did. Yeah. All right. I mean, this has been pretty great so far. Like, I spent what 30 seconds writing out whatever I wrote up here. And it's been working for 10 minutes, but if I were to do everything that it's doing, it would definitely take me longer. And Steven, please don't forget about the no segmenting rule. I don't know some of the answers yet. I want to create something and see how it feels. Yeah, so I've always talked about this. You figure out what your goals are before you do something. Like if you're starting in game dev, learning game dev may be your primary goal, in which case using AI to make games is not the best idea. But some people don't want to learn how to do something. They just want the thing done for them. And I've certainly been in that case myself for a lot of things. Like, I don't know, if there's any sort of like repair around our place that needs to be done, I don't want to be the best repairman. I just want the thing fixed. So frequently I'll just pay someone else to do it. If AI can tell me how to do it easily and it's safe enough to do, then yeah, why not? I'm not learning how to be a better repair person. I think it'd be tricky if you were trying to cut out like everything in your life you could possibly learn, because I do think there's something to be said for just getting arbitrary skills. You made that a rule on the internet in this stream. Yes. All right, so everything should look pretty much identical from a player perspective. So if we look at any tooltips, I'm not reading word for word here. I'm just seeing if anything looks broken. Yeah, everything there looks fine. And the only other text in this game, other than the 2 tips that show up. Oh, there's no portal. Because I never bought the perk. Let's speed up and go down there. There we go. Whoops, didn't mean to choose stay. Yeah, nice. Hey, Goose. Yeah, so this is pretty good. I want to kick off like something else here. When does this reset? July 14th? When is that? Tuesday? And it's when? 8:30 a.m.? Okay. All right. Because I plan to come back to working on Monday. Although I want to work on the new game, I think, on Monday. All right. Yeah. Sorry for the lower energy afternoon. Part of it is this room is broiling right now. I got to go turn on the AC. And part of it is just I have done a lot. And yeah, there's a lot more left to do. But we're in pretty good shape. My goal has always been end of July, we get done with Checkpoint 2 and we put it in front of playtesters again. I think it'll be somewhat difficult to hit that, but that's okay. It's a goal. It doesn't need to stick exactly. And we could probably still get some pretty good playtesting feedback, even if things aren't perfect. Fear for what August has in store for payback. I mean, I think I was just cold at lunchtime, so I just turned off our air conditioning. And now I realize that was a mistake and I should turn it back on. How many mini games is your MVP? I think the MVP already kind of happened. I think the MVP in my mind was pretty much just like the platformer and the farming game. It was just enough of a slice of the game for me to realize like, yeah, this seems like it could be fun and we're on to something here. So for a demo, I actually think that's probably the same. Like it's fine. But yeah, to like really prove that people like the game, I think this Checkpoint 2 will pretty much be enough for that. We'll have 5 games. We'll have a decent amount of the story, not a lot of it. And if people are like, yep, this is fun, I like this, then yeah, doubling or tripling that is very doable. Develop a zoo game. More than 5,000 animal species. Can I give the game to play in multiple updates as I add more things? Did I miss a message from you? I only see this in your messages. So if there's something else that was supposed to be in between these, because this sounds like a continuation of something. Because otherwise, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. You begin to play in multiple updates as I add more things. Anyway, if I just to infer what you mean by this, yeah, this is like DLC or expansions, right? This sort of thing has been done all the time throughout gaming. People make, 10 levels of something and they're like, oh, hey, plus 2 levels for $5. Or maybe not, we'll just say like worlds. Yeah, this sort of thing is pretty common. I think the question is just how does it fit into your base game that you're doing? So as an example here, I guess let's just take a concrete example. In Diablo 2, they had 4 acts, and then they released an expansion, and it added a 5th act. And it was just linear. So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as a result, it made sense to add in. They also added a couple characters. Those characters were more horizontal progression for that. Hey, Maya, thank you for the raid. I am very sorry about the sort of bad timing here, but I am just wrapping up. I do appreciate it. If you'd like, you can pick the next raid target. You hated Diablo for that? For the expansion? Or that it was linear? No worries, passes on. Yeah, how's everything going though, Maya? Because things have been really good here. I am just about to take a little mini vacation and take a couple days off. But we've been working on the loot boxes mini game in Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And it's feeling good. The whole gameplay loop is there. Everything's pretty solid. We got these little tutorial tips at the top from this person. We got this perks board. There's an arrow pointing out the one you should buy. Gives you a portal. You can go set prices on items. Customers will either buy something or turn their nose up at it. So you've got some indicators. You can keep opening more treasure chests. It's been super fun. Nice. Nice. It's all in Rust, right? That kept story and characters behind a paywall. I mean, they made a complete game and then they made another sort of complete game and they wanted money for that. I think that's pretty reasonable. Yeah. I mean, ideally gamers get just everything for free, right? But like there are constraints in the real world. I like the sounds. Yeah, these are a lot of this is inspired by Skeleseller. So like the specific sprites, the sounds that we use for this stuff, the characters, the perks, the icons that we use for these, they're all lifted pretty much directly from Skeleseller. And yeah, as you play through, I'm not really talking about this game, but as you play through it, you get more and more of these perks and you upgrade your town. Now we move a little bit faster. You can figure out what the price of these items are supposed to be. Can we afford more item stands? Soon. Just wait. I need the tiniest bit more money. Oh, they're not happy with us. Let's try 6 gold. Will you buy that? Still no? 3 gold? Yes. Okay, good. Let's get some more item stands. Yeah, nice. Alright, did I miss anything in chat? I think it's pretty good. Yeah, anyway, I've been doing well. I'm really excited about this next playtest. This is what always happens with this stuff. I work for a while, it feels like almost in isolation, and then we get ready for a playtest. The playtest happens, it doesn't go exactly how I expect ever, and it creates a bunch of other work for me. But that's game dev. Yeah. Anyway, let's cheat in some stuff and I'll show you what this looks like toward the end. So we upgrade everything. There. And now you'll get tons of treasure chests. I'll speed this up a little bit. And tons of items. Yeah. I didn't set the prices on any of these. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little idea. And at the end of this, you just walk out of the portal and you're done. Okay, I am going to get going. I actually streamed for a little longer than I thought, although I know none of it was really productive time. I am going to take the next couple days off and just relax, just play some games myself. New the final season tomorrow. Going to play a lot of that. Oh, hey, GLFA's on. Let's go raid GLFA. Cool, 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 cool. Thank you all for being here. If you'd like to join Discord, I've got a couple. I don't suggest joining the Skeleteller one, but yeah, the Adam Learns one is still a good idea for a target there. Good luck winning. Thanks. Yeah, take care. Have a good weekend, everyone. I will see you next time. Goodbye.